So as you embark on your journey in real estate investing, I think one of the things that's critical and crucial to know is your market, right? So I do a lot of investing in Philadelphia, and it's nice to know your market as you guys are learning and on your journey, wherever it is that you may be investing in, kind of just learn your market, learn what's going on. You really get smart as a real estate investor when you start seeing different trends and you start seeing community planning and what the city is doing and different things like that, because then you can anticipate your next move. You can anticipate what are the next neighborhoods, what are the next areas of the city that in 5, 10, 15 years will be desirable and people will start migrating towards those cities. So that's really when you're sharp. Now, it all kind of also depends on how hands-on you want to be in real estate, right? I have a lot of investors from all over the country, Houston, Atlanta, they'll invest in me per se, right? And I'm the one who needs to do my due diligence to make sure I'm investing in the right areas for these investors and for myself, so that we can all profit as we expect, right? That being said, I just want to talk a little bit about Philly. I know some of you guys in the training program, we're going to be doing deals in Philly to get you guys first started. So let's talk a little bit about Philly and what's going on in Philly. First thing to know about Philly, 1.6 million people, one of the largest cities. When you talk about density, you're going to have a lot of traffic in Philly. That's a con, but hey, what city doesn't have traffic, right? So I think one of the great things about that is we do have one of the best transportation systems in the country, which is SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. And big ups to SEPTA because they're doing a lot of things. They're also concerned about carbon emission. So shout out to SEPTA. Philly is definitely one of those walkable cities. It's definitely one of those cities where you don't have to travel too far to get on the rail line, get on the subway, or get on the bus. So commuting throughout the city is not that hard. Actually, it's very good, so I would say. Some of the other pros about the city, let's talk about the dining life, right? Or just the outdoor life. You have a lot of different outdoor spaces. You have Dilworth Park, you have FDR Park, a lot of places you can go, not just there, but just a lot of places you can go in general to have fun. And then there are a lot of restaurants throughout the city, different diverse restaurants throughout the city. So you have that, no shortage of restaurants or what to eat there. Obviously, we're Philly cheesesteak folk. I'm not a cheese whiz kind of person. If you're a cheese whiz person, then you can bang with Pat's or you can bang with Geno's. Personally, I like D'Alessandro's, grew up in Roxborough. I like the American cheese on my cheesesteak. That's my personal suggestion. If you're not from Philly and you're coming to Philly to have a cheesesteak, D'Alessandro's is my suggestion. But you like what you like. We all like what we like, right? So that's one of the things. Also, understand Philly is like big when it comes to history, right? In our country's history, it was where the Declaration of Independence was signed, where the Constitution was signed. So that's Independence Hall. A lot of tourists come from all over the globe to come to Philadelphia just for that. I think one of the things that I remember when I was working in corporate, I went to an event in Boston. One of my coworkers lived in Boston, and man, I was so impressed that, he took me out and he was just able to share with me all the different things going on in Boston and the history of the city. And I was like, man, I should be able to do that about where I'm from. So, it's one of those things that I think when you live somewhere, you don't really take advantage of it. You don't really take the time to learn about it. So if I had some advice, if you get some time, just, take some time, enjoy what we got here because it's good. So that's another pro. Well, another pro too is the location, right? Tri-state area, right? So you talk about New York is up the street, a couple hours away, hour 45 minutes, you can get there depending on where you're at in Philadelphia. And then down towards the south, you have DC, right? Then you have Maryland over there, you have Jersey, Delaware. So, it's a really central location to get to a lot of different spots. Some more pros, affordable housing. So they always talk about the location of the city. I wanted to add affordability, right? When you talk about those big cities that we border, New York and DC, the price of homes in those areas are far above what it is in Philadelphia, right? So I think the national average is right around $342,000 for a home, whereas in Philadelphia, you're looking at about $215,000, which is a lot less, right? So that's good. To maintain a decent standard of living, you need to make about $45,000 in Philadelphia as a single person, and then a family of four, you're looking at about $115,000 before tax. That was a study that was ran, and they did some research, and those were the numbers that they came up with. So I think all in all, that's really good. Now let's talk about some of the cons, right, of Philadelphia. I did mention the traffic. But you're gonna have to deal with that wherever you go. So that's just one of those things. A big con people will say, and I'm sure it's hit the national news or wherever you're at, you're probably like, yo, Philly is not safe, right? Philly is not safe. Yes, you're right. We've definitely had some issues with crime, homicides, property thefts and robbery, just a lot of different things, right? So that definitely has been an issue that's plagued the city for some time now, but I'm actually very optimistic, one, because there's reason to be optimistic at this time, right? And shout out to the Philadelphia Police Department, our governors, our mayors, all those people in city council, people that are involved in trying to make the city better, because right now the crime rate is down 38% from last year. Homicides right now are 87 as opposed to last year at 134. So they're doing a lot of good things and a partnership with a lot of different folks or whatever to just combat this epidemic of crime that we have going on in the city. So shout out again to Philly and the police department and all those involved. We appreciate you guys. We really truly do. So being that the crime is on a decline, that also is very helpful, right? We did experience a loss of population in the city from last year to this year, and actually maybe even the past couple of years. COVID had something to do with that as well. And then obviously, some of the older generation, they don't necessarily need to be in the city, don't want to be in the city, so they're moving out to surrounding counties, also safer out there, so that makes sense. But I do see, in my opinion, as the city continues to improve, reduce the crime rate, they're doing a lot of different projects that are going to help continue to build up the city. I do see the population, people migrating again towards the city. So I guess, all that being said, each city is going to have its pros and cons. You just got to look at it. And there are also different pockets of the city, right? Crime level in this zip code is definitely going to be different than the crime level in that zip code. So you just got to pick and choose. I think you can make money in any zip code. You just got to know the numbers and you just got to know what you're doing, know your markets, know when to spot a good deal. So those are some of the things I'll be teaching you guys in the course as we move along, as we try to invest and we try to become successful investors. So that being said, if I did forget anything about the city, just drop it in the comments. People are going to read it. Tried to just do this real quick. So hopefully this was very educational. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. We'll definitely be dropping some more soon. Thanks.